Okay, so this is the weirdest day of my life. I got this channel back, 500,000 subscribers, and this has been off the air now since last July. Welcome to Doug in Exile. We're back. We're legal with YouTube. I'll go into the whole letter on a video later today. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you leave a comment. Make sure that you watch all the way to the end of this episode if you want to help this channel out. First is, I've said this before to you guys, but I don't thank you enough. And many of you were cut off from this channel, and there's nothing we can, I can do about that. I can only thank YouTube for putting us back together. And they really did. They gave me 12 canceled channels back. And this is my biggest one. So we're going to start with this. We're going to do a political story on Trump being, the media has learned nothing on only reporting fake, all negative news against him. But on this channel, I'm going to try to keep wearing my suit, Coach, just to keep that brand. And I'm going to try to match the thumbnails. Let's do this together, guys. Here we go. It's been a while.
Watchdog has a new report concerning the coverage of President Trump's first 100 days. And while the negative coverage won't surprise you, the sheer volume of it might.
So the Media Watchdog Group analyzed the evening newscast of 3 top networks and found roughly 92% of the coverage was negative. Compare that to only 7.8% that was positive. Even when it comes to President Trump's top issue of the border, MRC found the networks only devoted just about 3.5 minutes to reporting that border encounters are significantly down under Trump. Now, compare that to coverage of President Biden's 100 days, his first 100 days, where MRC found that 59% of the coverage was positive. But despite the complaints coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, that the mainstream media isn't treating the president fairly.
There's the numbers. This is media bias up the yay. Now, you guys can tell me in the chat below, do you think it's possible for media, when it's made up of 92% Democrats, are they capable of saying anything positive about Trump? Because look, it's 92% negative. That's about the breakdown of Democrats to Republicans in mainstream media. Have we come to a point in our division where the left is incapable of doing their job? Now, if you're doing your job and you're a bricklayer, you can do your job fine if you're a Democrat. But if your job is to report news and facts, Democrats are not, they're such ideologues, they're not capable of running positive stories on the president. That is, they're incapable of reporting, and they're incapable of reporting negative news on Joe Biden, 59% positive. They're basically running a giant Democrat campaign, and they're still doing it.
The White House says the president won't shy away from engaging with them. Watch.
But the fact that we still have a president who has been a victim of these hoaxes, these lies, these smears by so many legacy media outlets and reporters, yet he's still willing to sit down with them, look them in the eye, look them face to face, and take them to task and share the truth with them and his perspective, I think is what the American people deserve in a president.
And we've already seen that this week with President Trump sitting down with The Atlantic, and just tonight with ABC News.
Is the sky really falling? Or is the media simply telling you the sky is falling?
Now, I'm going to weigh in on that, because just last night I had a discussion with a friend who came over, and he's not a Trump fan. The talking points he gave was that the sky was falling, that tariffs are ruining the country. It seemed like he was looking for a victory lap, like, Doug, are you finally going to admit that Trump is a complete abject failure, just like we predicted? But all of the talking points he gave was the media's talking points, that the sky is falling, that tariffs are ruinous, that Trump is addicted to Putin's power and just worships power, and that he's trying to get his friends rich with these business deals and stuff like that. It was basically down the line, every negative motive that the media has given to Trump, because they have to make up a motive, ridiculous motives, including like Trump wants more money, or that he's trying to get more money to Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. That makes sense to a liberal. They're going like, aha, yeah, that's the excuse we were looking for. Or that tariffs, Trump is somehow trying to raise the prices of goods on the poor and middle class with tariffs, and has nothing to do with him conducting a business war against China that could end up toppling our number one evil enemy, uniting the West against them. They can't believe those motives, that Trump could have a good motive in raiding. It was always just, he's evil, he's looking for rich, he worships power. That's all sky is falling liberal narrative. That's just my own observation just from last night with my friend.
Marked the first 100 days of his second term, President Trump held a rally in Warren, Michigan, just north of Detroit. To get into the rally, people waited for hours. But network news shows got out of the rally in just minutes. They just cut away. Because after all, it's very difficult to tell people how bad things are when the president is up on stage telling them how good things are. 4 minutes into the rally, MSNBC cut away to say that prices are up, except that prices are down. Eggs are down. Gas is down. Energy is down. Network news credibility is down.
And my friend last night was saying how all the prices were going up, and I tried to give him that factoid that eggs and gas are down. And of course, the left is not reporting that to him, and he's not getting his sources from anyone who'd have a positive thing to say about Trump. So facts don't matter.
But the resistance media isn't just playing Chicken Little today. Since Donald Trump took office, Newsbusters looked at 899 stories on NBC, ABC, and CBS, and 92% of them were negative. Even on immigration, where Trump is polling extremely well, the network spin was 93% negative. And during Joe Biden's first 100 days, the networks gave him 59% positive coverage. 92%, put this up on the screen, 92% negative coverage. It's kind of interesting when you see it there next to the president. 7.8% positive, 2.2%, Joe, we don't know what happened to it. What do you think?
I remember when Kamala Harris became the Democratic nominee. Media Research Center also did analysis as far as the first 100 stories on Kamala's campaign. All 100 were deemed positive. So this is nothing surprising here.
Kamala Harris, who was an imbecile that almost became the president, guys, it got close. This imbecile, the first 100 stories on Kamala Harris, and we know that she had favorable coverage because they would not report negative things on her until the very, very end, right before the election happened. But she was carried by the media. The biggest news story to me is still, and this is an observation that I've had for a while, the mainstream media, it didn't work. They were lying to you. All these networks are lying to you. They're lying, and all of the elites in your life are lying to you. That is, they're carrying a lie, even if they're innocent, like my friend, but they're carrying this lie. But the people, it didn't work on them. It didn't work on MAGA. It didn't work on the middle class. It didn't work on, it worked on less minorities than ever. It only seemed to work on college-educated women and very soft men. I'm Doug TeNapel, and we're back. This is Doug in Exile. This is when you leave a comment below.